Once upon a time in the Azure Seas, there lived a brave pirate named One-Eyed Jack. Now Jack wasn't your typical fearsome pirate with a heart as black as his patch over his missing eye. No, sir, Jack was different. You see, while other pirates plundered ships for gold and jewels, Jack sought only enough treasure to keep himself and his parrot Polly in bread and cheese. What Jack truly loved were grand adventures on the high seas, battling fierce krakens, outsmarting salty old sea dogs, and making enough noise to scare even the stoutest of hearts. Now, everyone knows that being a successful pirate requires more than just a thirst for adventure. You need a ship, a loyal crew, and most importantly, a treasure map. But Jack had a bit of an issue. You see, maps were a bit tricky for him. They always seemed to lead him in circles or straight into the welcoming arms of the Royal Navy. To make matters worse, the one map he had leading to the lost galleon of Captain Bloodworth had been torn, leaving him with nothing but a few random pieces. One blustery day, Jack and Polly were exploring the dusty shelves of the Drunken Mermaid, a tavern frequented by landlubbers and pirates alike, when suddenly Jack spotted a weathered piece of parchment tucked behind a chipped tankard. The moment he saw the strange markings, his heart skipped a beat. Could this be the missing piece to his map? As he unfolded it carefully, excitement bubbled within him like grog on a hot stove. Sure enough, there it was, the final piece of the treasure map. But there was something else on the map that made Jack's jaw drop. It wasn't the X marking the spot where Captain Bloodworth's lost galleon was said to rest, nor the intricate details that showed perilous reefs and hidden coves. It was a riddle, one that promised a clue to the whereabouts of the brave pirate's greatest treasure. Where three sisters sing their haunting song, turn back, adventurer, for you don't want to stay long. The Sirens Call. Every seasoned sailor knows the Song of the Sirens, a melody so enchanting that it can lure unsuspecting sailors to their doom on rocky shores. But which of the Azure Sea's many islands were these mysterious sisters singing their haunting tune? Jack pondered. He knew the Sirens lived on some distant tropical isles, but which ones? His mind raced as he scanned the map. Then his eye, sharp as it was, caught a tiny scribble in the corner. An island not charted on any official map, a secret haven whispered about in hushed tones by sailors in taverns. Was this the place where the three sisters made their home? With a determined glint in his eye, Jack set sail, braving treacherous storms and outsmarting rival pirates who tried to steal his prize. Finally, after weeks at sea, they reached the uncharted island. Lush green cliffs rose from the azure waters, hiding a sandy cove where a small cottage stood. Smoke curled from its chimney, promising warmth and shelter. But something else tugged at Jack's heart. The sound of sweet singing drifted from the cottage. Could this be the elusive trio of sirens? As they approached, he noticed footprints in the soft sand. Big, small, big, small. A family, then, and not just any family. A father, a mother, and a daughter, he realized, remembering the lines from the riddle. Three sisters, he thought, meaning the parents and their little girl. But where were they now, and were they dangerous? Should he run? As if summoned by his thoughts, the door opened and out stepped a man and a woman, their faces etched with worrying. "My daughter has wandered too far," the woman cried, "and it's getting dark. We fear she may have met with an accident." Jack felt a pang of sympathy. He, too, had a fondness for little Polly, even if she did occasionally peck him in the ear. "Don't fret, good people," he said, hoping his gruff voice didn't frighten them. "I'll help you find her." He couldn't let these poor folks lose their daughter, not when he knew how much his own Polly meant to him. Plus, finding the girl would earn him some good karma, which was always useful when you were a pirate looking to stay alive. Together, they ventured into the thick foliage. The father pointed out edible plants, and Jack, ever the polite pirate, resisted the urge to dig in right away. Soon, the sound of giggling reached them, and there she was, the little girl, sitting on a nearby rock. Relief washed over Jack. He scooped her up and handed her to her tearful parents. Their joy was palpable, and Jack felt a warmth spread through his chest, a feeling much like the sun on a cold day. But his adventure wasn't over yet. The riddle spoke of a great treasure, and Jack was determined to find it. With the grateful family watching, he followed the path laid out by the map, leading him to a spot near the crashing waves. There, nestled between rocks, was a small hollow, and inside, something glinted. He reached in, pulled out a small wooden box, and opened it. It wasn't filled with gold or jewels. Instead, it held a compass, one that seemed to hum with a gentle magic. As he touched it, images flashed through his mind, memories of courage, kindness, and hope. Then he understood. This was no ordinary compass. It was a guide to his greatest treasure, the one thing worth more than all the riches in the world, his courage. Every pirate needs courage to explore the unknown, to face their fears head-on, to help those in need, and to keep going when the going gets tough. In that moment, Jack realized that he had found something far more valuable than gold or jewels. He had discovered the true meaning of bravery. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Jack sailed away from the island. The compass guiding his way, he knew now that his greatest treasure was not material wealth, but the strength within him to face whatever challenges lay ahead. He had learned that true courage wasn't the absence of fear, but the triumph of kindness and compassion over one's own self-interest. And he had Polly by his side, too, making mischief and keeping him company. Back in port, as he shared his adventure in the Drunken Mermaid, every pirate and sailor hanging on his every word, Jack knew he was richer than he had ever imagined. His heart brimmed with the joy of discovery, not just of an island and a magical compass, but of himself. He was One-Eyed Jack, the kind-hearted pirate, and he wouldn't trade his courage for all the gold in the Azure Seas. So if you ever hear the haunting song of the sirens, remember the tale of One-Eyed Jack, and when you find your own treasure, whether it's courage, kindness, or a magical compass, hold on to it tight, because sometimes the greatest adventures are the ones that lead us to ourselves. As the evening wore on and the mugs were drained, Jack felt a sense of fulfillment that went beyond any treasure he'd ever found. His heart was full, not just of grog, but of the warmth of camaraderie and the glow of a life well lived.